Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year 2079 BS. Today, English. र नेपाली विद्यार्थीहरूलाई इङ्ग्लिस केही गाह्रो, स्पेसल्ली गभर्मेन्ट स्कुलमा पढ्नेहरूलाई इङ्ग्लिसमा केही समस्या देखिएको र केही विद्यार्थीहरूको विशेष अनुरोध अनुसार मैले आज केही इङ्ग्लिसको केही फिडब्याक दिन गइरहेको छु, थोरै हिन्ट्स। यो चाहिँ यसलाई क्लुको रूपमा अर्थात् यसलाई स्मार्ट स्टडीको लागि मैले केही हेल्प गर्न गइरहेको छु। लिट्रेचर इङ्ग्लिस इज डिभाइडेड इन्टु मेनली टु पार्ट्स, लिट्रेचर एन्ड ग्रामर। लिट्रेचर द्याट पार्ट अफ ल्याङ्ग्वेज विच इज युज टु एक्सप्रेस आवर फिलिङ्स, हामीले हाम्रा भावनाहरू व्यक्त गर्ने तरिका हो यो इङ्ग्लिस लिट्रेचरमा। वी एक्सप्रेस आवर फिलिङ्स mainly for school levels passages 2 or 3 passages are asked. दुई वा तीनटासम्म प्यासेज सोध्न सक्छ। रिड द एन्सर, रिड द प्यासेज प्रपरली एन्ड एन्सर द क्वेसन्स अकर्डिङ टु द टेन्स। अर्थात् प्यासेजमा जुन टेन्स दिएको छ, क्वेसन जुन टेन्समा छ, एन्सर त्यही टेन्समा हुनुपर्छ। जस्तो प्यासेजमा डु डज डिड भन्यो भने एन्सरमा V1 वा V2 होइन, V1 अर V5 मात्रै लेख्ने। क्वेसन प्रेजेन्ट टेन्स, एन्सर प्रेजेन्ट टेन्स। क्वेसनमा डिड छ भने V2 युज गर्ने। क्वेसन पास्ट टेन्स, एन्सर पास्ट टेन्स। क्वेसन फ्युचर टेन्स, एन्सर अल्सो फ्युचर टेन्स। सेम क्वेसन्स, एन्सर सुड बी इन द सेम टेन्स एज द क्वेसन। एसे, यु हेभ टु राइट डाउन सम एसेज, एसेहरू लेख्ने। Write the importance of English language. Story writing. There are some hints. And you can write down the story in the past tense and give the title. Poems. One poem is asked. एउटा पोएम सोध्छ टेक्स्ट बुकको, त्यो पढेर जाने। क्लास 8, 9, 10 सबैको लागि यो काम लाग्छ। कन्भर्सेसन्स अर डायलग्स। There are some hints. You have to arrange the dialogues serially. एडभर्टिजमेन्ट, विज्ञापन गर्ने। नेसेसिटी, भ्याकेन्सी अनाउन्समेन्टको लागि। एप्लिकेसन फर जब अर एनी अदर। लेटर, पर्सनल लेटर अर बिजनेस लेटर अर अदर। कम्पोजिसन, समरी राइटिङ, क्रिटिकल एप्रिसिएसन अफ पोएम अर एनी अदर आर्टिकल। टुडे डिलिङ विथ मेनली grammar, focus on grammar. Many students don't know, they learn grammar but they don't know the definition of grammar. Grammar is that part of knowledge which helps us to read, write, speak and express our ideas properly. Mainly voice, speech, question tags, subject verb agreement, tense contrast, tense in if clause, past and present tense, future tense, and sometimes mixed up. Prepositions. Prepositions, articles, transformation of sentences, affirmative to negative, negative to affirmative, and relative clauses. Today we deal with two items: subject verb agreement and question tags. Today's topic is subject verb agreement, question tags and articles. 3 आज चाहिँ हामी तीनटा कुरा मेनली फोकस गर्छौँ। सब्जेक्ट verb agreement, नेपालीमा सब्जेक्ट अनुसार युज द भर्ब अकर्डिङ टु द सब्जेक्ट। प्लुरल सब्जेक्ट, प्लुरल भर्ब, सिङ्गुलर सब्जेक्ट, सिङ्गुलर भर्ब। बट देयर आर सम एक्सेप्सन्स, एक्सेप्सन पनि हुन्छ। जस्तो आई फर्स्ट पर्सन, यो बिचमा सबै ठाउँमा आई क्यापिटल हुन्छ। आईसँग के भर्ब लाग्छ त? आईसँग पास्ट टेन्समा वाज लाग्छ, नट वर। I was, for example, I was eating, I was going, यस्तो हुन्छ। प्रेजेन्ट टेन्समा डु अर युआर लाग्छ। अनि यतापट्टि ह्याभ लाग्छ यति पास्ट टेन्स जस्तो आई वाज गुड आई वाज फिलिङ वेल आई डु इट माइसेल्फ अब आई इट आई राइट आई डु माई होमवर्क आई हेभ अ पेन आई हेभ अ रेडियो आई हेभ अ क्यामेरा यस्तो हुन्छ आईसँग लाग्ने वाज डु पी1 एन्ड हेभ पी1 भनेपछि अल भब वान इ सी इट र सिङ्गुलर थर्ड पर्सन सिङ्गुलर नम्बर थर्ड पर्सनको लागि कस्तो खालको भब हुन्छ ती भबहरूको चाहिँ मैले लिन्छु यो पास्ट टेन्समा वाज लाग्छ यु क्यान युज वाज फर इक्जाम्पल सी वाज इटिङ ही वाज राइटिङ इट वाज गुड एक्सेट्रा सिङ्गुलर नम्बर थर्ड पर्सन पास्ट टेन्समा वाज प्रेजेन्ट टेन्समा डज अर V5 भब 5 डज सी डज हर होमवर्क V5 मा सी इट्स राइस सी राइट्स रिपोर्ट्स थर्ड पर्सन पनि वाज डज V5 र हेज प्रयोग हुन्छ सी हेज अ डग ही हेज अ काउ यस्तो हो हेर्न सकिन्छ वी यु दे एन्ड प्लुरल सब्जेक्ट सब्जेक्ट चाहिँ वी छ यु दे अथवा प्लुरल सब्जेक्ट भएमा प्लुरल भब युज गरिन्छ तर यहाँ नाउनमा एस थप्यो भने प्लुरल हुन्छ भबमा एस अथवा इएस थप्यो भने सिङ्गुलर हुन्छ जस्ट अपोजिट द्याट मिन्स सिङ्गुलर सब्जेक्ट सिङ्गुलर भब प्लुरल सब्जेक्ट प्लुरल भब यु वी दे एन्ड प्लुरलमा कस्तो खालको भब हुन्छ पास्ट टेन्सको लागि वर प्रोनाउन्स एज वर डब्लुआरई नट वेयर होइन वेयर यस्तो नभनौँ वर प्रेजेन्ट टेन्समा पास्ट टेन्समा वर डिड had were did had and V2 plus verb 2 all past tense verb like were they were eating you were going we were playing we did it ourselves had not have verb is had जस्तो you had a camera like this plural मा पनि were did had and V2 फेरि यसलाई समरी गरौँ आईसँग वाज डु B1 have he she it singular third person past tense was does B5 and has you we they and plural or did had and V2 in future tense same will and shall future tense ma all types singular and plural all need will or shall can and auxiliary verb after auxiliary verb you have to use only V1 after the first auxiliary verb subject of agreement another topic articles. What are articles? Articles are numeral adjectives. They are numeral adjectives. Articles can be definite and indefinite. Definite article and indefinite article. Definite. For example, the तोकेर देखाउने it specifies a body it specifies like the or and the is generally used for the repeated nouns for definite things and for superlative degrees and sometimes phrases the more you read the more you understand यसको लागि पनि the युज हुन्छ यसको लागि प्लिज you have to consult a good grammar book any good grammar book can be consulted and always use the Oxford dictionary I suggest you Oxford dictionary use only the Oxford dictionary not other types of dictionary विद्यार्थीहरूले डिक्सनरी युज गर्दाखेरि यो जथाभावी यो सानातिना डिक्सनरीहरू रङ प्रोनाउन्सिएसन भएको डिक्सनरीहरू युज नगर्ने प्लिज आई हार्टिली रिक्वेस्ट यु टु युज द अक्सफोर्ड डिक्सनरी ओन्ली, नट अदर्स. इन्डेफिनिट आर्टिकलमा एएन, मेनली एएन, द, प्लिज यु हेभ टु प्र्याक्टिस योरसेल्फ. ए र एन कहाँ लाग्छ त्यही. फर्स्ट अफ अल युजेज अफ एएन. फर्स्ट अफ अल इज युज फर सिङ्गुलर what? Singular consonant sound. Consonant sound. Speech should be singular. Don't say that A, E, I, O, U, N and others A. That may be wrong sometimes. In Nepali, A भनेको consonant मा, N भनेको A, E, I, O, U मा N प्रयोग हुन्छ, अरू बाँकी सबैमा अ प्रयोग हुन्छ भन्नु रङ हुन्छ. सी A इज युज फर सिङ्गुलर कन्सोनेन्ट साउन्ड. साउन्ड चाहिँ कन्सोनेन्ट हुनुपर्छ. कन्सोनेन्ट मिन्स फ्रम क टु ग, क टु ग साउन्ड एड हुने. फर इक्जाम्पल, आई गिभ सम इक्जाम्पल. अ यु, दिस इज अ भावल. यो भावल हो नि. E is vowel, but we use a u, not eu. It is u. A u. A union. A university. A university. A unicorn. Motorcycle. Motorbike. इसको प्रोनाउन्स चाहिँ के हुनुपर्छ? अ टाइपको. फर इक्जाम्पल एन, अ one-eyed man. A one-eyed man. A one-eyed man. In the same way, a hare. A book. If you write full form like a European, right? Or European, not an European. Although E is vowel, E vowel भए तापनि we use a European. Or European, हामी कसो भन्छौँ? युरोपियन लेख्छौँ. European, प फ ब भ म य, not European. It is not European or E होइन. It is not vowel. It is consonant. So a European, a Eurasian, or Eurasian, or you can use a Eurasian or European. Now N is used for singular and vowel speech sound. The sound must be singular and vowel sound. Singular हुनुपर्छ र भावल साउन्ड हुनुपर्छ. फर इक्जाम्पल एन इज युज फर इक्जाम्पल एन आवर. डोन्ट से एन हावर. इट इज आवर. एन एयर, pronounce as air. Here to avoid confusion, a hair, not hair, hair. N A R, HEIR, A O हुन्छ. त्यसैले an honest person. It is an honest person, not honest. It is not honest, it is honest. So an honest person लेख्नुपर्छ. An honorable judge or person. It is not honorable, it is honorable. त्यसैले an honorable person लेख्नु पर्ने हुन्छ. त्यसैले an EU. If you say European or European Union, but NEU लेख्नु पर्छ. फेरि यतापट्टि MBBS doctor, MBBS doctor, NLG program, NLG program. You have to write NLG program because it is related to the pronounce as not yolji. It is not यल, it is एल. यसको उच्चारण चाहिँ एल अथवा अ आ इ उ सँग गयो भने एनएलजी प्रोग्राम. बट if you write a log game program, you have to write full form. In the same way, to avoid confusion, we write NSP. You have to write NSP, but a superintendent of police. If you write the full form, हामीले full form लेख्छौँ भने हामीले के लेख्छौँ? Short form मा NSP, not YOSP. It is SP, pronounced as S. Many students have a bad habit like A, B, C, D, YOP, YOTS, YOL. That is wrong. F. It's L, M, N. Pronounced as A, not YOS. It is S, L, M, N, F. But a superintendent of police, in the full form, if you write full form, a superintendent of police should be written. N, old person, N, insect, N, umbrella, N, island, and island, etc. A-E-I-O. N, onion, N, onion. When the pronunciation is vowel, भएमा vowel sound singular भएमा N प्रयोग गरिन्छ. Okay? Please remember a consonant sound and N vowel sound. Vowel and, but the noun must be singular. The noun must be singular. Article. Now another subject verb agreement. First topic is subject verb agreement. Second topic is article, and today's third topic is question tags. There are some rules. The rules you have, I think you have already learned. Question tag. Affirmative to, I just write down in short form. Affirmative, negative, and negative to affirmative. Affirmative statement, negative tag. Negative statement, affirmative tag. But how to know whether this is affirmative or not? You can easily see the sentence. Sentence हेरेर हामीले पत्ता लगाउँछौँ. But some negative adverbs. Please learn some negative. Rule number 1, negative adverbs. What is the first rule? Copy the statement. Statements are use comma and use the contrast form and write question mark. Negative adverb भएमा negative adverb like never, rarely, seldom. Please remember, barely, hardly, scarcely, etc. Some negative adverbs like never, rarely, seldom, barely, hardly, scarcely, they are negative adverbs and use affirmative tag. Negative adverb make negative sentences, so use affirmative tag. For example, according to the tense, she seldom weeps. What does it mean? She seldom weeps. Many students write don't see. That is wrong. She seldom weeps means she doesn't weep. That means does she. Use does she. She seldom weeps. Write down the sentence statement. Use a comma लेख. त्यसपछि You tense, according to the tense, use the auxiliary verb, then subject and question mark. She seldom weeps. Does she? Past tense. He never fought. He never fought with his friends. He never fought means he did not fight. That means did he? Use did he. Rarely in the same way. Never, rarely, seldom, barely, hardly, and scarcely take their. They make the sentences or statements negative and use affirmative tense. अर्थात never, rarely, seldom, barely, hardly र scarcely भएमा यो सेन्टेन्स नेगेटिभ हुन्छ र एफर्मेटिभ ट्याग युज गर्ने. राइट डाउन द स्टेटमेन्ट, राइट कमा एन्ड राइट डिड सी. डिड एन्ड क्वेसन मार्क. Number 1 is negative adverb. Number 1 negative adverb भएमा के गर्ने. Number 2 there as a subject. There as a subject. The subject is there. There as a subject. What is the subject? There. There subject भएमा there बाटै सुरु गर्नुपर्छ. There is an ox. There is an ox. Isn't it or isn't he not? There is an object. There is an ox. Isn't, right, comma, sentence, right, sentence, comma लेखी. It's a, isn't there. Isn't there and question mark. Don't use isn't it. Yeah, isn't it use गर्ने. Isn't there. Sometimes there came some wild animals. And what tell? There as a subject came some wild animals. Actually, the subject is, this is the subject. Subject is this. But can you use didn't they? No. There came some wild animals. Malika didn't there. Use didn't there. Yeah, did there as a subject sir. There use didn't there. But some wild animals came to the field. Some wild animals came to the field. Then what subject is needed? Yeah, but my answer. Some wild animals came to the field. Didn't they? Didn't they? Use गर्नुपर्छ there as a subject. Now, this, that. Subject, this, that, these, those. The subject is this, that or these, those. भएमा के गर्ने? It or for this, that we use it. For these and those we use they. Remember please, this or that भएमा it subject. These, those we use they. For example, this winter hasn't been very cold. What is the question tag? This winter hasn't been very cold. Yes, hasn't. अब यसलाई के गर्ने? Has this winter. Has it. Use the correct form of question tag. This winter hasn't been very cold. Has it, not hasn't it. This winter has been. If there is has been cold, you have to write hasn't it. That. This को those को. Those cameras are expensive. those cameras are expensive. What? Aren't they? Aren't they? Read as not aren't. It is not aren't, it is aren't. Contrast form aren't, isn't, wrong, isn't, aren't, not aren't. Pronounce as aren't they. This, that, these, those. This, that, it, and the, for these and those use they, plural subject. Another rule is if there is something, anything, something, anything, something, anything, everything, nothing, everything, nothing, singular. Something, anything, everything, nothing is singular, and use it. Always use it as a subject. Like use subject. For example, something is right. Something is right. Now something, what to write? Isn't it? Something is right, isn't it? Now nothing went wrong. What to write? Nothing went wrong. Nothing, subject, went, verb, and wrong, adjective. Nothing went wrong, comma, then what? What is the proper question tag here? Since go went gone, students are allowed to know B1, B2, B3, B4, and B5. Verb 1, present tense, B2, past tense, B3, past participle, B4, continuous, present participle or gerund, B5, singular form. Which I'll write down there notation. B1 is written as O, B2 ED, B3 is written EN, B4 ING, and B5 is written as S. यसलाई लेख्दाखेरि यसको सर्ट फर्ममा हामीले B1 लाई हामीले के भन्छौँ? O लेख्छौँ. O. B2 ED, B3 लाई लेखिन्छ EN, hyphen EN, B4 ING, B5 then S. B1 O, original, B2 ED, past tense, B3 participle EN, B4 gerund ING, continuous form, and B5 S, singular. B5 means singular, like goes, eats, rides, jumps, dies, plays, etc. Nothing went wrong. Since nothing is negative, you have to use affirmative tag, did it. It becomes negative, and this is past tense. So if there is past tense, you have to use did. One note, Bob is B1 or do, you have to use don't. B2 or did, you have to use did. Bob 5 or does, you have to use doesn't something. For B1 and do, B1 do, don't. B2 and did, past tense, didn't. B5 or does, doesn't. Not doesn't, didn't, don't. Use garni. Something, everything, eat answer. Nothing went wrong, did it. And you have to use question tag according to the tense. Tense अनुसार को use गर्ने. See, another, everything will be right. Everything will be right. What to do? Everything will be right. WONT, want it. Yani everything will be right. Simple future tense will becomes want. Everything becomes it. Then question mark. Comma, everything will be right. This is the statement. Copy the statement. Write comma here, not full stop. Comma, then will becomes want. If there is nothing will be right, will it? Will it? Here, want it. In the same way, you can practice some more. Now, let's and let us. Another is let's and let us. What is the difference between let's and let us? Many students may not know. Let's shows proposal, whereas let us shows request or permission. Request or permission. For let's see, let's stay here today. What to write? Let's. If there is let's, you have to write shall we. Let's stay, shall we. Let's go, shall we. Let's play, shall we. Or let us stay here today. Let us, will you. Difference, let's, shall we, and let us, will you. In the same way, let them play. There is not let's भएमा shall we or सबैमा will you. Let them play, will you. So, let's and let us, difference between them. Another imperative sentences, whether imperative affirmative or negative, always use will. Always use will you. Remember, for example, for imperative sentences, study hard. Imperative sentence, will you use a question tag as rising tone. Rising tone use गर्ने, study hard, will you. Don't say want you. Falling tone use गर्ने, rising tone, use a rising tone. Here, not falling tone. Rising tone, not falling tone. For falling tone, want you. For rising tone, will you. Just like request. Study hard. Don't fight. Don't fight. Then, will you. Don't fight, will you. Another, don't have cigars or don't smoke. It means don't have cigars, surat of you. What to do? Don't have cigars, ma. Don't do पनि हुँदैन, have पनि हुँदैन. And what should be used? Don't have cigars, will you. So, will you. Rising tone, use rising tone. Don't have cigars, don't use do and have. यहाँ do र have दुवै छैन, will you यस्तो हुन्छ. Will you. Now contrast of is and has. यो के हो त? Is हो कि has हो? How to know whether it is or has? लेख्दाखेरि एउटै तरिकाले लेखिन्छ. After is, rule. After is, what you can write? Can you say is before? You can write is before. Is adjective. इट को पछाडि एडजेक्टिभ युज गर्न सक्छौं. इज को पछाडि बिफोर युज गर्न सक्छौं. रिमेम्बर, इज को पछाडि is complement use गर्न सक्छौँ. Remember, first of all, I write down what you can write after is. If there is before, think it is. If there is adjective, think it is. For complement, for giving introduction, there is. After has, what can you write? Has B3. Past participle. Has gone, eaten, written, etc. As B3 is before as B3 is adjective has been also you can use B3 another after has object bhayma mainly see is before has B3 is adjective has been B3 is complement has objects. For example, I am giving example one by one. Is before she's eating rice. It's a simple sentence, not hard sentences. She's eating rice. Or say another sentence. You can use meat. She's eating meat. What to write? Isn't she? Yeah, so isn't she? In the same way, she. Another one is good. Adjective is good. Isn't he? It is not he has good. It's he's good. She's eating, not she has eating. Is good, isn't he? In the same way, complement. She's a doctor. Who is she? She's a doctor. Or introduction. इसलिए introduction दियो. She is a doctor. Not she has a doctor is wrong. In the sense of eat or drink. You have I also make it clear. She is a doctor. Isn't she? Isn't she? She's a doctor, isn't she? But in case of has, if it means eats or drinks, you have to use as main verb. As main verbs. As main verbs, you can use does or you can use does. She's a doctor, isn't she? She's eating before, isn't she? She's good, adjective, isn't she? He's good, isn't he? She's a doctor, isn't she? As complement. Now has is go. Now has B3. Example, she's written a report. What question tag is written? She's written a report. Hasn't she? But she is writing a report. If the sentence is she is writing a report, isn't she? She's written a report. Hasn't she? She is before like she's eating. She's writing. But has B3. Has B3. If there is B3, you have to know that it is not is. She is written. That's wrong. She has written a report because it is active voice. But if it is a passive voice, you have to think. What is this? Is or has? नेपालीमा त्यो सेन्टेन्स पढ्ने र इज हो कि has हो आफैले छुट्याउने. Read the sentence correctly and find out whether it is or has. She's written a report, hasn't she? In the has B3 has been. She's been eating meat. Hasn't she? What is the difference between she's eating meat and she's been eating meat? What is the difference? She's eating meat. Present continuous. So it is she's eating is she is eating. So isn't she हुन्छ. यसमा she's been eating meat. यो सी इज बिन होइन, सी हेज बिन इटिङ मिट. इट मिन्स इट इज नट इज, इट इज हेज. यो हेज छ यहाँ बिन छ, हेज बिन सरी बिफोर सी इज बिन इटिङ मिट, hasn't she. In the same way, has objects. For example, she is a big house. It's a big house. He is a big house. He has a big house. It is either you can write hasn't he, or you can also write she. He is a big house. He has a big house. Doesn't he? You can use doesn't he as well. Both are correct. He is a big house, doesn't he? In the sense, this has, it means gets or possesses. He possesses a big house, or he has a big house, he gets a big house. That means doesn't he. In the sense, मेन भब हो भन्ने अर्थमा चाहिँ यो लाग्यो. इट मे बी डिफ्रेन्ट इन अमेरिकन इङ्ग्लिस अर ब्रिटिस इङ्ग्लिस. एनदर इन द सेन्स, in the sense of eat or drink. In the sense of eat or drink, यो चाहिँ हामीले युज the verb correctly. For example, his breakfast at 8 a.m. 8 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. It may be different. His breakfast at 8 a.m. What is the meaning of it? Here, meaning is eats. What's the meaning of his breakfast at 8 a.m.? Don't say 8. You 8 होइन, 8 होइन. It is not 8, it is not 8, it is 8. 8. Use 8. His breakfast at 8 a.m. The meaning is eats. You eat, so therefore you have to write doesn't he. You have to write doesn't he. Like eats को रूपमा प्रयोग गर्ने र doesn't he लेख्ने. His breakfast means he eats breakfast, doesn't he. In the sense eat. In the same way, in the drink, she's cold drink at what? Say 2 p.m. Every day. She's cold drink. She drinks here in the sense she is cold drink means not she has cold drink. She drinks cold drink. Here doesn't she. You have to write doesn't she. Is has. Is को पछाडि फेरि हेरौँ. Is before is complement. Has B3, has been, and has object. Now had and would. Another contrast of had and would. दुवैलाई यस्तो लेखिन्छ D. Contrast of had or would. Without wasting time, I'm going to write. After had, you have to write had better. If there is better, you think it is had. Another had B3 and had 2 V1 and had object. If there is an object, if there is 2 V1, if there is B3, if there is better, you have to know that this contrast is had. नेपालीमा बेटर भएमा, B3 verb भएमा, 2 V1 भएमा, object भएमा हामीले यस्तो D भनेको had हो भन्ने कुरा बुझौँ. र would केमा हुन्छ त? would rather. भयो भने rather हुन्छ. If there is a rather, you have to think that it is would. And would V1. Would V1. Example. She'd rather go. She'd rather go, wouldn't she? Wouldn't she? Don't say wouldn't. It's wouldn't. यसलाई अलि हातमा चाहिँ भने wouldn't wrong, wouldn't. Again, wouldn't. She'd rather go, wouldn't she? अर्को छ would rather V1. He'd go. He would go if he knew. He'd go, wouldn't he? Wouldn't he? Here, go is V1. V1, verb 1. So it is he'd go means would go. Here I have written would rather, would V1. She'd rather go, wouldn't she? He'd rather stay, wouldn't he? They'd rather stay, wouldn't they? Would rather study, wouldn't we? According to the subject. He'd go if he knew, wouldn't he? This is would, V1. Would rather. Would rather, would V1. Now had. Now contrast of had. Can you remember what comes after had? Had को पछाडि के आउँछ? Example of had. For had, see, she'd better stay. She'd better stay. उनी पर्खे हुन्थ्यो, आज यहाँ बसे हुन्थ्यो. Just like optative. She'd better stay means if there is better, you have to know that it is not had. It is not would. It is had. So write hadn't he. So had, comma, he'd better stay, comma, hadn't, small letter, had, not hadn't, hadn't, apostrophe, n, apostrophe, and subject he, s should be capital. Many students have write this way. They write haven't. Is it correct? It is wrong. It is wrong because here S capital, the S should be small. Small letter. Remember, small letter E. S is small. Eat better, had better, had better, had better. Another had B3. She'd eaten fish before I called her. Please, यो सेन्टेन्स पढ्दा स्टुडेन्ट्सहरूले के बुझ्नु पर्यो भन्दा सिम्पल पास्ट एन्ड पास्ट पर्फेक्टको कन्ट्रास्ट पनि बुझ्नु पर्यो. She'd eaten fish before I called her. She'd eaten fish, past perfect. Before I called her, simple past. What is this? She'd eaten. Had eaten or would eaten? This is had eaten. I have already written the rule. Had B3, had B3, had B3, remember. So it is hadn't, right comma, right hadn't, C S capital, but here write S small letter, small letter. Had better and another had B3. Now had to B1. See, they to stay here. They to stay here. Had they? And they, sometimes you can write didn't they as well. They had to stay here. This had to, hadn't they? But if the sentence is they'd stay here if we requested them to do so. They'd stay here if we requested them. There is two. What is the difference? They to stay. They stay. What is the difference? Difference is they had to stay. SAD had. To sa had. there is no two side are. Would be one. Then they'd stay, wouldn't they, wouldn't के हुन्छ they हुन्छ यसरी कन्ट्रास्ट हो. अब had to had object I'd a camera but not now. I'd a camera, I had a camera, hadn't I. In British English you can use hadn't I. I'd a camera, hadn't I in British English. But I'd a camera, didn't I. This American English. In American English you can also use didn't I. I'd a camera means I got a camera. It means got a camera and you have to write didn't I. But in the sense of eat or drink भएन के युज गर्ने had को सट्टा would. In the sense of had, eat or drink. In the sense, what is the sense? The sense is either eat or drink. You can use any tense, past tense, ate, future will eat, will be eating, etc. You can use any tense or aspect. Sense. See, seed, she had what? Meat and rice. What is the sense? Is it she had meat and rice? Is it correct? Had she? No, it is not correct. What is the meaning? The meaning is ate. She meat and rice. उनले मासु भात खाइन् भन्दाखेरि ate. This is ate in the sense of eat. You have to write did she. के लेख्नु पर्यो? Did she लेख्नु पर्यो. According to the sense. Other sense of plural verb. Other rules. The police arrested the robbers. What to do? Here is the singular, but it is plural. You have to write didn't they. Didn't they. See, singular and plural हेर्ने. The police arrested the robbers. Didn't they हुन्छ. Economics is a very important subject. What to do? Economics is a very important subject, isn't it? Isn't it? Sometimes, what is the subject we have to know? Like reading novels is interesting. What to write? Reading novels is interesting. Isn't it? Reading novels is interesting. In the same way, writing reports went wrong. Writing reports are not wrong, but writing was wrong. So didn't it, because it refers to writing, not reports. So did it लेख्ने, not writing. In this way you can use different types of now some negative and then positive कसरी लेख्ने. I am going to write down some giving auxiliary verbs. Negative, for example, she won't go, will see. She will go, won't see. She won't go, will see. I could solve it. Couldn't I? Another, I am writing a report. report. Now I am writing a report. What to write? Aren't I? You have to write aren't I. Am छ aren't गर्ने. But I am not a doctor. If you say I am not a doctor, so yeah, negative छ भने am I. So please, students, comment on. Please comment. If you feel any difficulty in question tag, please comment and write down or send me some questions. And you are advised to practice more and more. Practice more. Practice more question tags from any good grammar book. See you next time. This was for today.